So what is going on, everybody? It's King Karan with another flare content for you guys. And this one is actually an important one for you guys to know because I had the privilege to ask Hugo about this if it comes to the 5 billion supply increase that will happen every single year. And actually, his answer was pretty surprising. What he told me, if it comes to the amount and if it comes to what they're going to do with it, actually made me even more bullish. I mean, I already knew that 5 billion is just this small compared to the demand that is coming for Flare, obviously, because Flare will be the pool collateral for the whole F asset system. But the fact that he answered differently, I mean, I thought that 5 billion was correct. I thought that was correct. But he let me know that it's way different. It's even more bullish than I thought. So you're gonna get another whiteboard session, me explaining to you guys what Hugo actually said and what this actually means for the supply of flare. So here we go. So remember the last time where I put the supply on here with the whole chart and everything. So we're just gonna do it again, just real quick. Let's just make this 100 billion. Make this 105 billion. And let's just make this 110 billion. Just showing that what is going to happen and what Hugo said was actually making me a lot more bullish. Because I obviously said, you know, about the 5 billion. I was asking him about the 5 billion increase every single year. But he's actually telling me something different. He said, no, listen, we did release the 5 billion. So yeah, here we go, supply increase year one. But every single year, it's not going to be 5 billion, 5 billion, 5 billion. It's not going to be this every single time. The supply increase will decrease. So 5 billion, that already happened like 2 years ago or a year ago. And then he said this year we already did like 2 billion. So the supply amount will decrease every single year. So this is what will happen actually eventually. 5 billion. He said something with 2 billion. And year after year, let's say 0.8 billion, it will decrease and it will go to 0%, almost to zero. So it might be 0.001% over the years. So that 5 billion, ladies and gentlemen, that I thought would have been put in every single year, same amount, is not the case. It's going to be decreasing throughout the year. 5 billion, let's say this was 2024. And this was 2025. This is 2026. So yeah, they did this. They did the 2 billion this year. And then it just keeps on decreasing. And then eventually it just remains flat. Like there is barely going to be any supply increase, ladies and gentlemen. So what are they going to do with the extra supply that they obviously have? I mean, just real quick, we all know the 5 billion will not be every single year. It was 5 billion at one point. That extra amount keeps on decreasing all the way up until it's like 0.001%. So almost zero, right? So that extra will just go down in amount. So once we know all about this, we can move on and we can talk about what are they going to do with that extra supply. So Flare network, ladies and gentlemen. right? They got extra supply of flare. What are they going to do with that? They're going to put it back into the flare ecosystem. They're going to put it back into flare network. They're actually going to make sure that the DAXs are running smoothly. The lending protocols are running smoothly. And obviously you have stables to run smoothly with that. So they're actually using this extra supply and they're going to put it back into Flare network, ladies and gentlemen. This is making me so bullish because they're not just going to do some other things with this. And the fact that Flare is doing this shows enough that Flare is here for the long term. I tell you, man, Flare is not here to joke around. Just the way how they plan things, how they set up a structure, as an example for that supply thing, and just the way how they thought about these things, shows enough that they are here for the long term. They are not here as a one-trick pony. They are not here for just one cycle. There are a lot of projects out there that might will pop up in these months, right? New shiny toys. But the question is, what are they going to do when the bear market starts? What are they going to do then? Because if you look at Flare, Flare has been building throughout the whole bear market. Well, guess what? Flare was actually born in the bear market. Literally born in the bear market. Flare launched in the bear market when the sentiment was bad. People were negative. And throughout the whole process, they were building, right? And you should start to research projects that were born in the bear market, that were building during the bear market, that still had a good community during the bear market, had partnerships during the bear market, and then start to look what happened to these projects when the bull market entered. Do you really think, with all of the things happening with Flare, that the price won't increase? That the price won't do a crazy thing in this bull market? Flare has everything lined up. And I do understand that, when I was asking Hugo about the demand of Flare, you can obviously not say a lot of things and not say like, oh yeah, guys, we're going to this price out of my calculator. No, he's the CEO. He is the co-founder. He is a serious person. You should look at him as a Brad Garlinghouse figure. He cannot say things either, right? So he's not allowed to say these things. I'm allowed to say these things. That's why I'm here, right? So I hope you guys like learn something about the supply here because I didn't actually knew what he was about that answer because obviously I thought it was just going to be that 5 billion. But it actually shows that they have been thinking about these things very well. And it's not going to be 5 billion. It's just going to decrease actually. The volume of the supply increase will get lower and lower, and the amount is just almost going to zero. And that is huge, guys. Because even if it was the 5 billion, the demand will still destroy that little supply, that little 5 billion. But just the fact that it just decreases time after time, and it also gets into the ecosystem, that just makes me even more bullish. Like, literally, think about it. Flair is not here to make jokes. They're thinking about a long-term plan here, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that you're here, the fact that you're positioned very well, we're guys, we're gonna look back at this video. It's at 2.5 cents right now, Flair. And you're in the future right now. I know you're looking back. You're gonna laugh at this video. You're gonna be like, man, remember these old videos here? because Flare is about to appreciate in price. There is no way it won't do that. Look at all these things lined up, guys. Right? So I hope you guys have learned something about this, about the whole supply thing. Make sure to like, subscribe. Make sure to also leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. Follow me on X at King Karan Crypto, and I'll see you guys next time.